Welcome, everybody, to this spring of 2023 session, the 13th episode of the IronheartS. We're going to play Dungeons & Dragons tonight. Be warned, this broadcast does feature adults using adult language, imagined violence, and improvised nonsense. Thanks for joining us. We're so happy to have you here. I am Captain Zach, the GM of the IronheartS, and I'm joined by my best friends for more than 20 years, Weston and Matt. Say hello, Weston and Matt.
Hello, I'm Weston.
Hello, I'm Matt.
I have been playing this game with these two absolute goofballs for 3 years-ish at this point. But we've known each other forever, and we've played a lot of different games together. This is just one that I'm really glad we're continuing. I'm glad to be here today. I'm going to be playing, I'm going to, I think, just be playing one character, but I might have to do an outro for another. So Krist and Pip are two of the three characters. I also play Dagon sometimes, and Charin maybe. It kind of depends. I've got a bunch of characters in this game, and lots of blood, sweat, and lot of extra tears.
And where else can we see you, Weston? On social media or anything?
I do I'm an actor, you see, and I have to keep up a social media presence everywhere so that someday I hopefully have a career, you see. You can find me at Lava Submersible on TikTok and on Instagram. Don't find me anywhere else, and you can find me here on Twitch at Nerdcrafty every Tuesday and Saturday doing a live stream. My Tuesday streams are an art stream I've been doing for a long time, and my Saturday stream is a reality television criticism show that I've been doing just over the last few weeks. It's been a lot of fun. I didn't know how much I would love live streaming, but I do.
And Matt doesn't have a social media presence. Sorry to speak on your behalf, Matt, but we love seeing him here as Ragul Rock and Parashar.
'Tis correct. Lifetime gamer, lifelong friend, and current father. Happy to be here.
So if you're watching this, we appreciate your support. You can lick like buttons. You can lick subscribe buttons. We appreciate it, whether you lick or like. And if you want to see your name featured as an NPC, comment on YouTube or use the link to join our Discord community and let me know, and I'll make that happen. I've already done it a few times already. You can also send me an email at ironhearts@nerdcrafty.com. And now, my friends, let's return to the IronheartS, the Tomb of Annihilation. Welcome back. On the last session of the IronheartS, the Tomb of Annihilation, the IronheartS found themselves in the bleak expanse of the Northlands, in a strange village called North Pole, not their intended destination when they last used Chewinga tree travel magic. There they were de-aged to little rascals and saved Frosty, the awakened snowman. But before that, the IronheartS were continuing their journey to Chult to end the death curse. But for the IronheartS to enter the lost city of Omi and end the death curse within its tomb of annihilation, they will need to be stronger. So they've decided to honor their blood vow to Mushari, and it's time to slay a dragon. IronheartS, you leave the bleak expanse, a teleportation portal between you, and as you are teleported, some of your friends don't make it to the other side. You only see Ragul Rock and Krist Wrangle as you reappear in the oven-like heat of your destination in Chult. You have arrived, you believe, just outside a dragon's lair.
Ho ho ho! These vibes are fucked!
The
Time no see, Ragul.
The only person you see from your party in Cholt that is here is Mushari. And he looks around at you both. Looks around. Where is everybody else?
Musharib, oh wait, I'm Krist Wrangle. Nice to meet you. I am a bit confused as well. But,
Really?
Bad chicken.
I have a vague memory. As though it were from another person's perspective. Yes, in fact, our dear friend Pip, has left me a memory, it seems.
I mean, Julian must be here, or AFK, or anyone, but it's really just you and Ragul? And he makes a little prayer motion.
All the best.
I am
Ragul nods his head in agreement to the prayer motion.
I do hope our friends are okay. But, I don't know if we have any way of contacting them at the moment. Of course, so much of our long-range communication was with Julian. Don't think we still have that sending stone.
Mushari begins pacing, rubbing his forehead. Okay, who are you? And he looks at you, Krist.
Well, I am Krist Wrangle, barbarian, and friend to the IronheartS. Until very recently, I was out at Castle Rock, defending it from an army of undead and other various armies, actually. A very bad situation there, but not quite as hot as it is here. Actually, I really don't like the heat. I prefer cooler climates.
For those of us not acquainted with Krist Wrangle, what does he look like?
Musharib sees a man with a broad shoulders and a white beard and a funny little white hat and red coat just kind of draped over him, as well as some very heavy weapons and some very giant muscles.
So you are familiar with Pip?
Yes, my good friend Pip. In fact, me and Pip and our friend Dagon have been working together on a creative project, I guess you might say. A creative community project, even.
So you are an Ironheart?
Yes, I've known the IronheartS for some time.
Musharib looks at you, Ragul Rock. You think you can take down the dragon, just the two of you?
We've done more with less, I can tell you that, my friend.
My divine entity protects me, greater than you can imagine.
Musharib looks away in the distance, contemplating the life choices that brought him here. As you guys take in your surroundings, you can see you are definitely still in Cholt. You're on like a flat area of a mountaintop, so you can look out to the south and you just see more mountains and jungle. To the north, the mountain is continuing further, and there is it's very quiet here. You don't hear a lot of the normal jungle noises, or at least they're coming from further away. and there is a strong scent of seared meat, but it doesn't smell bad, like AFK just let off a fireball spell. It smells good, like there's some seasonings, and it smells really tasty.
Nearby?
Yeah, it must be nearby if you're catching the scent.
Yeah, Krist, I guess, would be, is the canopy too thick? You can't see any smoke from anywhere?
You look around, and there is a huge smoke plume 30 miles from here from an active volcano. So you don't think that is the source.
I see.
Other than that, you don't see any, like, little campfire smoke trails or anything like that.
Well, Ragul and Musharib, I suppose we better follow our nose.
That's a good one. Yeah, we could, but weren't we going somewhere?
Up the, volcano? I believe. My memory is another person's. I am very sorry. I don't exactly have the strongest grasp on how all of this sorcery is happening, but I do know that I have Pip's memories of all of what has been happening in down here in Schultz. They're just a little bit fuzzy, and so last I remember, Pip was very stressed and crying often while no one was looking, and I believe their plan was to go fight this dragon for our friend Musharib here.
Yes.
Yes. That does sound different than what I recall. Excuse me, a psychic damage shotgun blast to the brain and all. Well,
yes, that sounds very terrible. Ragul, I'm so sorry to hear about your ailment.
No, it's actually empowering.
Nothing less of you, my friend.
Whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger, or so my lord tells me.
You never change, old man.
Not a bit.
Well, let's get some food in us before we perish.
Yes. The ancestral forge of my people, Krakhamar, is near here. This is as close as we can get. The magic of Cinderlore, the red dragon that has overtaken our mines and forge, prevents us from teleporting anywhere inside this mountain. But be assured, my friends, inside is where the dragon has taken our belongings and our land, and lies unless it comes out to hunt. And I do think fortune is with us. And Musharib starts walking a ways away from you guys, and he does seem to be following his nose.
Yeah, Krist looks at Ragul, just like, let's following the this handsome dwarf man.
We may find some of my brethren nearby. If we do not be afraid. Do not make any sudden movements, and let me do all the. And then 4 albino dwarves out of the bushes surrounding you guys. They have obsidian spears or obsidian daggers in hand. You see 3 of them look very similar to Musharib, and then one of them is female, and she has this long braided gray hair and a long braided gray beard. And as she pops out, she utters something in Dwarven. Do either of you speak Dwarven? Actually, I know Krist does. You have the belt of Dwarven kind.
Yes.
So she mutters, "Are they friends? Are you safe?" to Musharib, and he responds in Dwarven, "Yes. and then they hold on to their weapons, but kind of stand in a guard position. And then Musharib and the woman give each other a big hug.
Oh, I love, don't you, Ragul?
You see his entire posture change. You have always seen him kind of uptight and anxious and alert, and his shoulders kind of drop. He starts handshaking or hugging the other albino dwarves. They're talking back in mixtures of dwarven and common. Hello, my brothers. Yes, it is so good to see you. I bring friends. These, and he kind of looks at all of them and then looks at you two, are what remains of the Ironhearts.
Oh, he puts it so harshly. We simply have lost them. It's surely no big deal. But yes, we are also Ironhearts. Me and this funny man here.
These are my brethren, my brothers and sisters in our tribe that has been here for more than 1,000 years. This is our leader, Sithy, and he kind of does a small bow to her, indicates to you guys to do the same.
Oh, yeah. Very respectful deep bow from Krist. At your service, I am Krist Wrangle.
Ragul, religious man at large. I mean, at your service.
Sithy just does a very kind of curt nod to you guys. You're still strangers to her. And Musharib starts telling her, I've done it. I've brought those who claim they can liberate our forge. And I have seen these Ironhearts accomplish incredible tasks. No one has survived the jungle as well as them. I do believe they can do it. And she kind of looks at you guys, does a little up and down, and she says, come, eat. And you guys are led a little ways. Musharib kind of leaves the two of you in the back as he starts kind of catching up with his old friends. And then Sithy is right at the front. And as you guys pass through some brush, there's like this illusion magic where it looks like Musharib just disappears and Sithy just disappears as they walk through an invisible barrier.
Oh, here we go!
And as you guys pass through the invisible barrier, that smell increases tenfold, and you see a nice little 20 by 20 foot little campsite where there's a tent set up, there's a little bonfire where there's some velociraptor, turkey-sized dinosaurs that are roasting over the fire. There's a little bucket of water, there's more spears, some of them have some fish, and it's just a whole campsite here of various cooked meats, some veggies that have been prepared. It looks like they've been here, you think, a very long time, at least several months, if not longer. But all of the smoke that comes from the fire is not escaping this illusory magic. Only thing is the smells. The campsite looks like there used to be, it looks like there should be a lot more people there. And Sithy looks to Musharib, and as you guys are approaching, she says, we have lost many. Your friends are welcome to eat with us. And Musharib kind of looks at her, and they kind of exchange a look, like she's not going to talk about it right now. And then he looks to you two. Please, friends, sit with my brothers, eat with us. We will take on the forge very soon.
Oh, yes, I wouldn't miss a meal.
Gladly.
Krist, flops down with all of his weight, fork and knife in each hand, just kind of ready.
You sit next to a couple of the other albino dwarves, and you look like extra big. They're all sitting on very low like seats. So Krist is kind of like got his knees up to almost to his face, his arms wrapped around, and they start handing you some barbecued meats and the like.
Yeah, he's just barbarianing his way through some grub.
He rage eats.
He rage eats? Yeah.
Ragul takes a delicate approach to eating. Almost a poised position.
An old man like you needs to watch out for your teeth!
More like my image.
So as you guys are sitting and eating, Scythe speaks. She says, Cinderlord goes out to hunt once a week. She has not left in 5 days. She is likely to leave within the next couple or few. Her lair is guarded by kobolds that worship her. The best entrance is through the mines, 100 yards from here. We have tried time and time again, but as you can see, my brother, we have lost many. And Mushari makes a sad nod. Friends, and Scythe looks at you as you guys are munching on some barbecued meat. If you intend to take down this dragon and free the Rakhammer Forge, you may ask of me any questions you have, and I will answer them as best I can.
Well, I suppose, would you know of any, weaknesses this dragon might have?
What does it dine on?
This dragon eats the largest dinosaurs Cholt has to offer. It has been here more than 300 years. She has no weaknesses, outside of those you would find among a red dragon. She is very arrogant. She is very greedy. Normal weapons do not work against her.
And greedy for jewels and gold, I assume.
Yes, she has taken particular interest in our forge. And she looks to Musharib, and Musharib makes a small nod. You may be aware of the Forge of Brocker.
I haven't heard of it.
Oh, sorry.
When my people were exiled from the Northlands and came here, more than 1,000 years ago, they took with them a great dwarven artifact in secrecy. It is called the Forge of Brocker. It is the first anvil made from the first dwarf on all of Midgard, who has ascended to godhood and become a patron of the forge. The anvil Cinderlord has placed inside her chest. It grants her incredible power beyond even those of a red dragon.
That is sacrilegiously impossible.
We do not know, but we have seen it. You must not underestimate her, or anticipate her to be like any other dragon. She has a god artifact merged with her.
Ah, so by not like other dragons, you mean weak, frail, and feeble. Yes?
No.
Oh, but that is the opposite of other dragons, or not the like of other dragons, because other dragons are tough.
I think what Scythe is trying to say is that it's extra tough. Like a normal dragon is tough, but this dragon is tough.
That is not possible. Dragons don't get tougher.
Maybe you misread, I don't know. I beat up a dwarf once. I mean, not a dwarf. I'm so sorry. I meant a dragon. It was actually the beginning of my, some of my most exciting exploits. I'll never remember the faces of the villagers when I brought back all of their stolen belongings that this dragon had been plundering for years. Changed my life that day.
Very well then, you are correct. I do recall myself also having conquered a dragon at one point, although I did have 7 friends with me, and we were scarcely alive afterwards. I think almost perished. But it can be done.
Almost perished is still alive, as far as I'm concerned. Always look on the brighter side, I say.
Yes, indeed. Not dead is not dead.
I'm just looking forward to a good fight. I've been long sequestered in Red Rock, waiting and waiting for my time to attack against these encroaching armies.
If you are able to slay the dragon, we ask the anvil be returned to us. However, each of you will be allowed to take 20 pounds of refined adamantine that we know lie within the forge.
That's quite generous, thank you.
And, what is it the forge can do?
The forge of Rakama uses the fires from the nearby volcanoes to fuel the devices and materials that we craft. The Anvil of Brocker is the only known artifact that can forge promethium with mithril, with adamantine, with orichalcum, creating god-level artifacts.
Artifacts of the gods, you say? So it is sanctimonious for unholy hands to be wielding it.
Yes. We ask that it be returned to us where it belongs.
Then the dragon is a defiler and shall be taken down.
I knew we'd get you on board, Ragul.
And the other albino dwarves, not knowing Ragul Rock, hear this as genuine mission statement, and there's like, hip hip hooray!
Ragul senses an odd disturbance, not knowing Ragul. Something sounds to me. This is genuine Ragul through and through. Everyone is enthralled because of the divine architecture of how I have arrived here and how I shall be working with Krist Wrangle to slay this vile dragon for defiling the holy forge. Well then, shall we set sail first thing in the morning?
Well, I also would like to know, so we enter through the mines.
Yes, the entrance is not far from here.
Oh, I see. But it'll be a long journey through the labyrinthine mines to get to the lair of the dragon.
Truth be told, we do not know how deep it is to the lair. But no dragon wants too far to go when it goes out to hunt. Short answer, yes.
I see. And of course you know the way. And we will follow you and whichever emissary or guide you have to spare for us.
Scythe and Musharib look at each other, and Scythe looks to you before Musharib can speak. And she says, "We can take you to the entrance of the mine, but we have lost too many to continue further."
So
Very well.
what everyone is saying.
It's like a tough battle. I'm enticed.
Hear, hear, good friend. But what I'm hearing is everybody's saying there won't be any sailing on lava. We won't need to do that. Okay, just checking.
Everyone looks at each other confused. No?
That
No,
sounds
never
too hot for me.
was a fire.
I am very happy.
Some would say, oh well, I guess we'll just have to walk. I do find rivers of fire oh so purifying.
I guess I didn't think about this. We don't have Devin or Chompy anymore, huh?
Chompy for sure no, because he stayed with Bluegill Billy. And Devin was last in the flask. I'm not sure who was carrying the flask.
It would have been Ryan or Sean.
That's what I was thinking. It would have been Julian.
Well, I'll be sad to not have Devin along, but he probably wouldn't fit through most of the passages anyway. So, could we take some of these provisions along with us in case the journey becomes a little bit longer than we may anticipate?
Ragul does have listed in his inventory the iron flask of holding. So potentially you have a Triceratops in the flask as we speak.
Marvelous.
Krist, when you ask about provisions, they give you all the food rations and water you'll need, all of that stuff. And Scythe looks to Musharib and he nods, and she produces 2 potions of fire resistance. He also states, we have obsidian weaponry, which has proven effective against many of Chult's denizens. Whether it will be effective against the dragon, I cannot say. Just a reminder, obsidian weaponry is 1 use, but it deals double damage. It shatters on impact. And some of Chult's creatures can only be harmed by it or weak to it, etc.
Krist pulls out from behind his back his giant hammer of naughty and nice. He says, well, I've got my weapon here, but I do appreciate anything that you can spare. Maybe I do have this crossbow. Maybe you might have a couple of obsidian arrows I might take with me.
Oh, yeah. Well, point of order, naughty or nice are 2 gauntlets. One that says naughty and one that says nice. And they have green, like, Christmas cane swirls up them.
Oh.
It's
Sorry, my bad. It's been a minute.
That's okay. And then you also have just a regular warhammer. And then you've got 4 javelins in your crossbow. I'll say 12 obsidian bolts.
Hell yeah. Why, thank you. I'll make sure to use them wisely.
Okay, so on your character sheet you have 5 rages listed, and next to that you have 12 other resource. That's the obsidian crossbow bolts. Is there anything else we can provide you?
I'm trying to think of a way that we might be able to trick the dragon. Of course, that to lead to some kind of ambush where we could get an advantage on him. On her. We do have Devin, which you say this dragon is greedy, so maybe we can make her want to eat Devin. But I'm afraid of losing our good friend Devin. He's such a sweet boy. Do you have anything that might work as an alternative?
We know that she has kobolds and fire lizards that worship her and help protect the mines and the forge. They are the only ones that she would not kill on sight.
Oh. Kobolds and...
Yes, some fire salamanders, fire newts, fire lizards.
There's no way we could be costumed to look like them. Pass among them unnoticed.
A kobold maybe, but the fire lizards, unless you set yourself on fire, I cannot see you accomplishing what you have in mind.
I see. That would be uncomfortable.
What would now?
Being on fire. Are kobolds, like, medium-sized?
They are small. They are like the size of a gnome or a dwarf.
Krist is like 6'7".
Yeah.
7 feet tall,
They
something like that.
are they're like goblins. They're little henchmen. They worship dragons and their own hierarchy of kobold gods. They are known for being inventive and cowardly.
Cowardly, furry, soccer balls.
Well, that's what I don't think I'll pass as a kobold, but Ragul, you might.
Pass as a kobold. Yes, perhaps a large fat one, yes.
You're not that tall. Calm down. Perhaps you could disguise Ragul and put me in some kind of have him almost have captured me. Present that once we get to where the dragon's assistants are collecting. Maybe they'll be able to get us an audience with the dragon.
Sithy looks to Musharib, and he just nods and smiles like, yeah, these are the guys. And she's like, we could? And she snaps her fingers at a couple of albino dwarves. They come back with some dinosaur hide that kind of looks similar to kobold scales. They just throw them on the ground in front of you. They pull up a little horned dinosaur skull, throw it on the pile. It looks sort of like a kobold head.
So just so I understand the plan, I put that on, and then maybe we go walking up to the dragon?
Yes, sorry, Ragul. I didn't know the bread you were eating was so crunchy you couldn't hear me. Let's go over the plan again so that we're all on the same page. The plan is you present yourself as a kobold and me as a captive for the dragon, so that we might be able to get an audience with her, and then kill her.
The dragon has audiences?
I don't know. This is an idea. If you don't like it, it's fine, Ragul. I'll just cry somewhere.
Oh, no, I didn't say I didn't like it. I'm just understanding how things work. Do the kobolds worship the dragon?
Oh, yes. There's kobolds and anthropomorphic lizard people that live and work and serve the dragon.
Okay, there's a whole structure around this guy then, instead of just the dragon. All right.
Otherwise, we're going to have to kill a bunch of kobolds and lizard men, and I would feel a little bit bad about that. They don't seem like they would put up much of a fight to me.
Oh, they wouldn't. Oh, that's good. They do need to die, though.
Oh, Ragul.
Oh, Chris. Both of us looking at each other, you in a whimsical state of mind like, oh, he's just kidding, and me looking at him like, they will be dead.
Oh, I know of your tendencies, Ragul. I know all too well.
Tendencies is not my will. It is not my will to be done.
I'm sorry, I meant your gods.
Indeed, I am simply the hand.
Of course.
I
would never imply that you're just a bloodthirsty murder hobo.
Nothing like it. He's not laughing. He's not. I just can't. For some reason, I got the chuckles right now.
So yes, that's the plan.
All right. Well, thank you for catching me up. The best disguise I shall have. So, with the absolute lack of camouflage skills that I have, he will do the best that he can to adorn himself, but it pretty much looks like he falls on the pile, rolls around in it, and then he stands up.
Well, I am a part-time toy maker. I might be able to help you. I know the basics of aesthetics. Let's see if I can't tinker around with this a bit.
Yeah.
Help! I'm pretty sure I blend right in right now. Do we have a kobold to test this out?
Like the skull is like on his shoulder. A piece of hide falls off of him. Little Rock, your baby mechanical dragon, like slithers around you, and all of the rest fall down when he gets to the top of your head.
And then he's Ragul smiling proudly.
You look great.
Great! He's actually like cheery. Do we have Cabal captures? I could feign an escape and join with them.
That actually was a good idea. Do you have any captives?
They shake their head no.
No.
I could feign escape from your camp and join them.
Scythe looks to Ragul Rock, and she says, "We do not keep prisoners."
Understandable. Well, Ragul, if you go by yourself, I won't be able to be there. Is the thing.
Indeed. Well then, plan A.
Musharib speaks up. "Do you have the flask?"
This is directed at Ragul.
Yeah.
Oh yes, the flask. He holds up a flask of obvious liquor, but with a symbol of his holy deity adorned upon it. You mean this?
No, Devon's flask, Ragul. Devon's flask.
Ah yes, well, flask of holy water won't do much, I suppose, against them. And then he puts it away. Would you mind helping me remember the flask? What does it look like? He opens up his bag.
Oh, it's this one here, I think.
Oh, I do remember this, actually. I'm being summoned. I'll be right back.
Ragul makes the motion like he's got a nature is calling. Steps away from the planning session.
Ragul farts and then shuffles away.
His little mechanical dragon, Little Rock, stands in his place, salutes. Musharib speaks up, interrupting you. Perhaps, Krist, you could be inside the flask, and Devon, the Triceratops, can stay with our camp.
Can I live in there? As long as I don't die. Seems like as good a place as any. I guess Devon lives in there most of the time, so it should be fine.
A creature trapped in the flask does not need to breathe, eat, or drink, and does not age.
I mean, that definitely would work. And then it's just up to Ragul to let me out if he needs help, or at the right time in front of the dragon.
Wait, what? In the flask, you don't age?
Don't need air, food, water. I should be. Ragul, I think Musharib just put it forward a pretty good idea. Instead of Devon being in the flask, I could be in the flask, and then there's no worry about making sure my bonds are secure, or I'm not exactly the most keen with deceptions. I don't plan on letting the cat out of the bag, but I am very loud.
Ragul pops the lid off. In you go.
So Devon pops out, starts meandering and grazing, and you have an open flask in front of you, Krist Wrangle. It's at this moment that Musharib realizes this puts Ragul in charge of everything, and he slaps his forehead and shakes his head.
Well, I don't need to go in there right this second. We still have... we're doing this tomorrow, or are we just gonna do it right now? I don't know what's... What's the plan?
Is Ragul still dressed up by himself?
You mean no longer dressed up, but standing in a shamble of dinosaur hides and skull? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Well, Ragul is not aware. Ragul is not self-aware of his disguise situation or its efficacy.
Speaking of things that Ragul's not aware of, he does have like some wounds that are healing up and some HP to be restored.
Oh, so we should wait.
Yep, missing a couple of things there. Bits of skin and all.
Well then, we'll figure out a way to better fit you with this disguise and get it on you a little tighter and more securely so that we can make it through to the dragon's den unperturbed. Hopefully. Ideally. Although I do think me being out of the bottle does help you actually get to the lair, as I would be, I imagine I'd be a good captive. Maybe I'm not a valuable prisoner for a dragon. I'm not sure. But I am an Ironheart.
Scythe looks to you. I have never seen the dragon take a prisoner.
Looks at Krist, not me.
Well, what if you, as the kobold Ragul, were saying that I could... I am a rather large man. Maybe you could say I would be a good laborer.
Don't we put you in the flask and then pop you out in front of the dragon?
Yes, in the current version of this plan, but I was referring back to the previous version of this plan where I'm not in a bottle, and instead pretending that you are my captor, that you have captured me.
Okay. I believe it would be the best in that situation to say that maybe you're being fed to the dragon?
I am large. I would make more than a bite-sized morsel for this dragon, I assume.
Do we know if the dragon likes tasty treats?
Musharib looks doubtful. I'm not sure taking a prisoner is their operating procedure. And it's possible the dragon will simply breathe fire on you.
Yes.
But
Plan B might be better.
I have seen you Ironhearts accomplish many a great things and abolish all norms.
Well, if we're taking a vote, I vote for the flask idea, but that's just me.
Oh yes. I think you're right, ultimately. I was just thinking it over in my head.
Yes, of course. Always good to run it through.
I'm assuming if the flask is destroyed, I will be destroyed along with it.
Yes, don't drop it in the lava.
That would be embarrassing. Great warrior like myself, killed in a flask of what looks like alcohol. It would be rather funny a story, wouldn't it?
Yes, and were it to happen, I'm sure it would be told at length. What is that going on over there?
Please let Ragul drop the flask in lava.
I can already tell you exactly how that story will play out. Trust me. I'm not.
We did talk about it briefly, but haven't revisited the idea of using Devon as bait for the dragon. You say that she goes after the large beasts of Chilton. Devon is one of the largest.
Is there an advantage to luring the dragon out of their lair?
Not fighting all of the kobolds and lizard men. Either way, we're trying to avoid a bunch of needless fighting with all of every last kobold and lizard person in the mountain, or in the mine.
Yes, I suppose Devon running out and the dragon chasing him would leave us in a situation where the dragon has run past all of its followers and exited the cavern, hopefully, and we would be in an open clearing with the ability to dodge, that could be a great situation.
Smithy speaks up. If you fight the dragon outside the lair, you must deal with its aerial capabilities. If you fight the dragon inside the lair, you're fighting it on its home turf. You must pick your poison.
So therefore the lair is not that tall, and the dragon's flight is limited. I see, okay. Good. Well,
I am unaware.
Dragon is better than a dragon in its home, I would say.
I am unaware of the details of Cinderlore's lair. This is just common knowledge amongst dragons.
Out of game. The flask of holding, is it anything like the bag of holding that can suck anything into it?
Very similar, yep.
Are you devising a plan here with the flask, Matt? Like to put the dragon in it?
Yeah, that's my thinking.
Oh, I love that. How are you gonna get him to get close enough? It is a DC of 17. Wisdom.
Oh my goodness. So yes, plan. Bring you in with a flask, get you out, then suck dragon into flask. Possible? Maybe?
Oh, I think that would be great. Your performance skills are usually pretty top-notch, if I'm not mistaken, Ragul. You could even offer the dragon this epic elixir that maybe will increase its power 100 times fold. And as you open the flask, you let me out, and hopefully it'll be close enough where the dragon will go right in. But it does have a possibility of not succeeding, in which case we will have to beat the hell out of the dragon.
If you're up for some multitasking, Weston, while you guys are planning, you can try to fix up Ragul's disguise.
Yes. I was even gonna say, what is it? It's a. How do I use another character's ability? I forgot. Is it a hit dice?
It's a point of exhaustion if you want to
Point
use
of
pit.
exhaustion. Okay. No. The first point doesn't really matter, right?
Exhaustion has 6 levels of effects. The 6th is death. The first is disadvantage on ability checks.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's gonna be bad. Okay. Well, then Krist will do it instead of Pip.
So Krist, on your character sheet, underneath passive wisdom, you have your choice of carpenter's tools. Yeah, okay, we'll say carpenter's tools. You can click on that button.
So I missed it. The flask idea is a bad one or a good one?
You guys are still planning. I'm just impatient and wanted to see the results of Krist's disguise roll. So a result of 14 on Ragul Rock's disguise.
I was gonna ask, Cincy, do you happen to have anyone who's expert in disguises and things of that nature? A rogue or something, a thief, perhaps?
No.
Well, there we are then. This
So
is the
that
best
means-
I can do.
So that means anyone who gets suspicious and takes a closer look at Ragul Rock must be a DC 14 to determine that he is in disguise.
Let's hope these lizards and kobolds are dumb as shit. Will, Ragul be able to, perform or persuade, his way out of any of that?
Maybe.
So, am I properly disguised yet?
So, buddy, here's the thing, is the disguise is okay, it's staying on you, and you look not like you. is what you look like. So we'll do our best. I guess my best suggestion is try and avoid, but not in an obvious way, any kind of interference from any of the dragon's servants, and just command a certain amount of authority and be persuasive if we are questioned. And at the first sign of trouble, let me out of the flask. I do not want to die in the flask, please.
First sign of trouble. You got it. He's just standing there with his arms open, displaying his costume, and he's like, then we shall go.
Well, I think you have, I think we ought to do a sleep, so that everyone is well rested and ready to go.
Right. Indeed. Too excited.
And by everyone, I mean just you and me, because that's it. That's the only people.
Very well.
So you guys are able to rest here. You see that the albino dwarves have their own Chewinga spirit aiding them. So you're hidden, you're safe. So Ragul Rock, Krist, Wrangle, you have full HP, you have full hit dice, you get all your spells back. We'll take a little break right here, but it'll just be a minute, so we can have a minute, and then when we come back, we'll enter the Wormheart Mines. Nerdcrafty creators like myself, like Sam, who puts this all together behind the scenes, like Weston, are available for hire. You can visit nerdcrafty.com to learn more and contact us. Smash cut the entrance to the Wormheart Mines as Sithy and Musharib take you guys there. You can see at the entrance there is a mine cart. There are a couple of buildings, one smaller than the other, to the north, the larger one to the east. The entrance goes deeper into the mountains. You can see there are footprints where the albino dwarves have tried going inside. There are footprints that you would assume to be kobold or lizard folk. Sithy and Musharib wish you luck. Musharib says, IronheartS, I thank you again for fulfilling your blood vow to me and my people. We will wait for you outside.
Be done in a jiff.
No sweat.
You guys can see the ore cart. Looks to be in working order or repairable. The cart track continues further inside. The two buildings have closed doors and they look to be mostly in shambles. The buildings themselves, there's some vines crawling over them.
Oh, Ragul, I guess this is where I say goodbye for now. Again, let me out at the first sign of trouble, and don't get in trouble. Try and make it all the way to the dragon's lair so we don't have to fight a bunch of kobolds and lizard people before we do this, because we'll want our full strength for this dragon.
Yes, I've always wanted to pretend to be a deceiving, thieful, conniving monster, disguised. So my disguising now is perfect, so therefore, this will be a fun adventure and test of my acting skills.
Alright, well, here I go! Not the first time I fit into a small place.
Literally, like, yep, not the first time you fit into a small place. No, just like Santa Claus jumping down a chimney where you jump and then I hold out the flask and you do the shrinking. And you like hold your nose and twinkle your eye as you do it or something.
Cinder paws, but yes, I see.
Ah, yes.
Keep that one close to the vest. Anyway, I'm gone.
Alright then. Eerily quiet as I stand here alone by myself.
Yeah,
Nothing around me except vines and an old shack. and the looming death of a giant dragon that's been empowered by a godforge. The slightest sound of tiny bit of doubt creeping into him. I guess here I go. And then he starts turning towards the dragon, or towards the mountain, and starting to go towards in it. I know that my deity watches over me. I know that my deity watches over me. So if it's the entrance to the mine shaft and there's rails, I suppose we'll just go through the entrance and follow the shaft down as confidently as I can appear, as if I live here.
Okay. You pass the 2 buildings. You go to the entrance. You see an ore cart next to you, and you see that inside the mine, the cave opens into an enormous pit. You can feel a bit of wind, warm wind against you. And
are you gonna check out those little buildings? They might have something nice.
Buildings outside?
No, there's 2 buildings inside the mine. You might have missed Zach say it.
Oh, I did not hear that.
They're just right over by where Krist is.
Right there? Yep. Okay, yeah, let's check that out.
so this building has walls made of closely fitted stone with large windows and a wide overhanging tile roof. It's now overgrown with vines, but the structure looks solid.
Okay, well then, try to open the front door.
You go to open the door, and the knob turns, but the door doesn't give way.
I tried my warhammer.
You pull out your warhammer.
Yes.
Why don't you make an attack roll?
I believe that's the attack.
You smash your hammer into the door, and it busts open. Birds, lizards, and little creatures erupt out of it. And you see inside that the building's contents have all rotted. There's mildewed paper, there's slime, there's all these tables and cabinets that are all covered with vines and bird droppings, a few bones of some small animals. And you can make an intelligence investigation.
Alright, intelligence investigation. Roll investigation.
It doesn't look like there's anything of use in here.
Well, good thing that my intuition brought me in here. Anyway, turn around and try to move quickly to the other room, because I know that I'm probably made some noise that probably traveled. Is this inside the cavern, or is this still outside the cavern?
You are just outside.
You
Like,
should be fine
little
if you get
secrecy
caught,
in
as
there.
long as, yeah. You know, you're a kobold right now. Everyone can tell looking at you you're a kobold.
I'm assuming this thing below me is the other structure, or...
Yes, you do see another structure, this one a little bit bigger. This building is made from closely fitted stones and has a tile roof but no windows. Portions of the wall are crumbling where tree roots are pushing the stones apart. There are scars and scratches on the stone where someone tried to hack through the heavy door with axes but gave up after making little headway. All of the scratch marks are just a couple feet off the ground.
I will push hard on the area where the stone is being split open by the vine.
Okay, make a strength athletics check. So the roots are causing the stones to not be as well aligned, but they're still pretty solid in there. So you test a few different ones, and you get one to push through. So now you have like a window to look through.
All right, hammer on door.
Okay, you break this door open, and some insects and lizards go scattering about, skittering maybe, cluttering perhaps, and you see dozens of crates and barrels are stacked inside. Several have been toppled over by the tree roots that are growing beneath everything. There's what looks to have been stored food and water that has since become inedible, but the other supplies are mostly still usable, even if they won't be especially useful. You see tools for mining and stoneworking and ironworking. You see shovels and lanterns and candles. There are some miners' helmets, heavy gloves, and you also see spare wheels and axles and brakes for ore carts. You see grease and thick rope, tar, brushes and brooms, and so forth. Little Rock starts rummaging through the parts, stands up, a big oversized miner helmet on his head, buries himself back in the parts, comes out holding a wrench, throws it aside.
So it's just like mining equipment, some bugs, and some like lizards.
Yep.
Well, this stuff could be useful somewhere and somehow. I'll keep it in mind for next time, or if anything comes up. And about face and walk out.
Okay. Little Rock climbs into the mining cart, and he's got the miner's helmet on his head, and he's just like sitting in the cart, and he bangs it a couple times. And makes a baby noise.
Ragul will push the cart just a little bit to see if it's free in its track.
Okay. So the ore cart is held in place by some blocks in front of the wheels. The metal box looks solid, but one of the axles is broken. And so it only one axle is currently working of the two.
Well, then I will go back in and look for an axle.
Yeah. So you go back to the other building. There's extra parts there. There's axles, brakes, grease, wheels, tools.
First, he's going to replace the axle to the best of his ability.
Okay. Make a intelligence check. Your first attempt is not the best. The axle's not sitting right. Little Rock does a shake of his head like a supervisor or foreman watching you on your first day. You turn a couple parts around, get it fitted up correctly.
Get down! Oh, get down!
So the axle is fixed, yes?
Yes.
I checked the brakes.
The brakes, you do a quick check, and they are not working.
So I like push the cart, tell little Ragul to like whatever, pull the brake, and then he just keeps rolling, and I rush quickly, chasing after him and jump, slide, catch him.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna fix the brakes, and then I have to chase my son for real.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Only I wasn't in a flask.
Yeah.
Man, whose idea was that? What a weird idea.
Brakes are fixed. I should have done that roll invisible.
It's better this way. I just imagine the flask is just sitting in the cart, just like inside. Krist is just imagining everything is just going. You know, he imagines we're halfway through the mine already.
Yeah. Well, you won't get there slower.
Yeah, I'm sure that an unknown kobold riding up in the previously broken minecart will go completely unnoticed.
Alright, is the brake fixed?
Yes!
Yep.
Thank you, sir. But with that, I will climb into the minecart with Mini Ragul, and actually I'll stand outside and then look ahead and kind of see where the minecart is. Does the helmet that little Ragul have a light on it of any kind? Was there a light in there or a torch?
I mean, thematically, I want there to be, but there is not.
We haven't figured out batteries in this world yet.
No light, and then is there any in the room? I go looking and venturing for light in the room.
Plenty of torches, lanterns, candles, etc.
I'll grab a lantern and lighting fluid and a lighter of some sort.
Okay.
So I'll take that with me, and then I will ready the minecart standing outside, give it a heave-ho and a running motion like a bobsled, and then jump in.
Feel the rhythm. Feel the rhyme. Awesome.
What was the rest of it? Look out,
Wait,
winter,
wait.
it's sledding time.
Little Rock gets right in front of you and then points as the ore cart with lantern in tow starts wheeling down the tracks.
Oh my god, it moves!
And you see a huge pit that this track goes around in a sort of like a spiral staircase. So you're going downhill in a clockwise motion. And the cart is picking
down?
up speed.
I brake slightly to maintain speed.
You hit the brakes and it starts to slow down, and then there's a clank, and then it
Oh.
stops slowing down.
Oh shit.
And the more colloquial term is keeps speeding up.
Yes, keep speeding up.
Oh,
Alright,
no.
so we go full movie mode, and I just fingers on the front of the cart as my head tucks down below it, and I'm looking as where we're going, and hiding behind the front rail of it as it just goes, and there's nothing really I can do.
Little Rock looks behind you and is like making the like stop motion.
Well, how fast are we going? Is it like something I could jump out of, or is it, can I drag my hammer, or?
It's picking up speed. You're going somewhere around 10, 15 miles per hour right now.
I will halfway jump out, hold onto the minecart, and drag a little bit to slow myself. So like my boots, which are very
Like
sturdy,
Flintstones.
and hold and drag.
Okay, make a strength saving throw as you stick your feet to the cart tracks and then slam your hammer into the ground.
You said strength saving?
Yeah, strength save. Do you want to stop the cart or stop yourself?
No.
You got one hand holding the ground stopping you, and you've got one hand and one foot in the cart.
I'm not trying to stop both. I'm trying to slow us both down.
Okay. So you're kind of slowing down.
Yep.
Little Rock bumping in the front.
Oh boy.
You slide past where you could have made a turn. You see a lever that you pass on the way.
This is my
Oh my god.
Well, we'll just find out where this one goes and then maybe redo it later.
You
Do I see any
come
signs
by a
that say
passageway.
rails out?
You see a bridge above you. Make another strength saving throw. You've slowed down enough to see another passageway ahead, and the cart is picking up speed. So you're going 15 to 20 miles per hour now. But you would be going twice that if you weren't sticking a foot and a hammer in the ground. Little Rock is bouncing even more in front of you, looking at you.
I look at him. This would have gone a lot smoother if you would have fixed the brakes better.
There's like angry gestures and grinding sounds from his metal gear cog teeth. And he's pointing at you. You pass the passageway and you hear amongst all the commotion, you hear a tink. And from behind you, a trap door opens up from the side of the stone, and a big boulder falls out of it. A claw traps up to the tracks off of the cliff face from the inside, catches the boulder, and then the boulder starts rolling behind you.
I stop braking. I stop braking, and I continue to hide behind my fingers in the front of the cart, just straight out of a movie, just like ducking, only eyes peering over the edge of the minecart, fingers holding on for dear life.
This could be one of the moments where Krist was telling you about the first sign of trouble, but that's your call.
Ragul is whispering to him, everything's under control, everything's under control, everything's under control.
Okay.
No. All according to his divine will. All according to his divine will.
Okay. Oh no.
Roll a dexterity saving throw.
You did not just get the max result on that, did you?
I did it incorrectly the first time.
Okay.
Ragul, you, as the cart is picking up speed, it goes on 2 wheels on the tracks.
I start leaning. I lean away from the turns.
You lean away from the turn, and at the same time, Little Rock falls out of the cart and then starts flying into the pit, recovering, but now he's outside the cart, and you can see him like losing ground.
I lunge
flying
out
behind
of the
you.
I lunge out of the cart with everything, like, was it one hand and one foot grabbing onto the cart, and the other hand and the other foot holding myself out, and I reach out for him.
Okay, make another saving throw with disadvantage. Another dexterity save.
This is going to go bad.
You fall out the cart.
I roll.
You're rolling in the air and surrounded by darkness as you fall down this pit.
God damn. Okay, I'm casting my rainbow wings. I'm casting rainbow wings. Yeah, a rainbow assortment of dragon wings erupts from my back, and I assume illuminates a short distance out from me. Probably not that far, but I can see pretty well in the dark, actually. Okay, so now I'm just gonna go over to Little Ragul and then gather him, and then we're going to watch the mine cart with some popcorn and see what happens with that thing for a second. And then we're going to try to descend quick enough that, I mean, I've got a lot of time on this. I think it's like an hour. So we're going to kind of float down gently and quickly, and then just see where we hit the bottom.
The cart is like picking up speed on the tracks. You see it go around another corner and axes shoot out from the wall at it. What would have like decapitated you. It goes further down, and a log of a tree with nails in it swings over the cart. And it spirals down several times before crashing at the bottom. The big boulder right behind it. And the whole mines echo with the sounds of all these tracks going off and the loud cacophony of it crashing at the bottom.
And for good measure, all the rails come apart at the last second and then fall on top of the cart. Everything that could have gone wrong goes wrong. Okay. Well, good to know. And Ragul's eyes are as big as dinner plates. Good thing nobody can see it right now.
So you're like hovering midway through this 200 to 300 foot deep pit that has this stone pillar that goes up the middle all the way to the roof. The tracks spiral down 3 times. At the bottom, after the crash, it goes silent. You can hear the white noise of the volcano, and you hear some dripping water, and then torch lights start coming on across the tracks, spiraling up.
So am I on the ground?
You're flying halfway up this pit as all these lights start coming on around you.
I said I was going down.
Well, you jumped out and started flying.
Yeah, but I'm going down.
Okay. You descend as all the lights start coming on around you and up.
It does happen quicker.
Descend quicker?
Yes.
You
I descend
bomb to the
Yeah,
bottom.
I descend as quickly as possible that I mean, as fast as I can, that I can stop myself before I hit the ground. That I can see the ground and stop in time. That I can feel that. I think I have 60 feet of dark vision.
Wow. What an entrance. We're surely making it out of this alive.
The lantern that was in the cart fell out at the first leg of that journey.
Obviously. Okay. Alright, so have I reached the ground?
You touch ground. Little rock next to you.
Okay, so the instant that I get to the bottom, I put away my wings, and then I start thinking about what I might do. I'm just gonna walk in the dark. It's dark, I can see though. I don't even know why I wanted light. So let's assume this is dark and I have dark vision. Ooh. Is that the cart?
Yeah, you can see it's crashed right next to some water, and the cart tracks spiral back up.
So up is that way? And this
Up is counterclockwise. There is a fork in the tracks, so you see a bridge that goes over the water you can hear.
Is there another way to go here that's not going up the tracks, like it's another...
Yeah.
It's like a way that way, and then there's another way behind me that goes...
And as soon as you look in this direction, you feel immense heat, and you hear a very loud snicker that shakes you with bass.
Well, better be going that way.
A giant dragon head with fiery red eyes that are smoldering and turning into lava rock constantly begins to make its shape from the ground. Like it looks like it's swimming in the earth, and it's not the opposite of submersive. It upmerges instead of submerges. Emerges, thank you. Emerges from the ground, and all of the rock in the ground is melting around it. And its form doesn't even fit in this lair. Its wings and its arms are moving through the stone like it's water. And all of the earth is constantly melting off of it as this lava dragon emerges in front of you.
Does said lava dragon have an anvil in its chest?
A giant anvil that is glowing like the sun directly in its chest. It doesn't look like it's there naturally. You can see blood like lava and puffs emerging from where this anvil has been, what looks to be forcibly implanted in the chest of the dragon.
So, wide mouth and totally gawk-eyed Ragul, without closing his mouth, retrieves the flask with Krist and then opens it. Not looking at the dragon for a second.
Oh! Fuck!
Ragul, why don't you make an initiative roll to see if that happens?
Initiative?
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Ragul, make a wisdom saving throw as the dragon says, "Stop right there." And you do as commanded, stopping with the flask just about to be opened. The dragon blows a little puff, and all of your kobold disguise, dinosaur hide, skull falls off of you. Little Rock gets blown back a little bit before standing up next to you and replanting its feet in the ground. What have we here?
A long squealing comes out of his mouth, which is probably the only thing he can do.
Make another wisdom saving throw.
I'm surprised the first one failed, but this should be a good one. Yeah, there we go. That's what I was expecting.
You pop open the flask as intended, and Krist Wrangle, you are manifested in the Wormheart mines.
Oh! Ragul! Who's the friend? What a lovely lady you are!
Slow head turn with petrified gaze looking at Krist Wrangle and just a nervous twitch in one of his eyebrows. He doesn't speak. Just...
Weston, why don't you click on your token? There's a little initiative button that pops up in the corner, or you can click on it on your sheet. There you go. What brings such fools to my lair?
I am a genie, obviously. Can't you tell? I've come to grant you wishes.
The dragon motions like it's going to breathe fire.
Oh shit. Okay. Let's fucking go, you son of a bitch!
Wait! Before you do that, I have a proposition. And then, does the dragon make any kind of, like, tiny halt in its motion, or is it just gonna continue?
If you wish to speak with me, use your manners or be burned.
I reference all the manners I know of my deity and use those here, but slightly altered so that I am not infringing upon my own deity.
You may call me Tindalor, the great lava dragon. You may refer to me as your master. But if you wish to speak, you will do so politely. And smoke comes out of its nostrils. I've not the patience for fools.
Politely. So, physical gestures, I'm doing, I don't know. What I do with my deity, again, I will do with this person, but again, slightly altered, so I'm not doing the correct ritual. Because I don't want to, idolize false gods. And then, so that's the physical gestures. Now the verbal gestures are going to be, please, and, my, master, and then master, what did he say his name was? About to die. Master Cindergosa? No, I didn't say
Cindalor.
that. Cindalor, thank you. Master Cindalor, I say with a broad sweeping bow and all due respect, and then some more. And I look up just a tiny bit to see what his reception is.
As this is happening, you see kobolds are like coming down the tracks and like snickering. Some of them pull out cups of popcorn and they're just watching you guys.
Can I tell if this is a manifestation of the dragon or the actual dragon?
You have never seen or heard of a dragon that could emerge from the earth in such a way.
Proposition. I have heard tale of a mystical god forge that you possess. I would bet that all your mighty power, in all your mighty power, Master, you have yet to create from the forge. Am I wrong?
Make a persuasion check. Krist, do you want to help? Or are you just gonna let him just watch?
Yeah, Krist noticed that he was not, his initial gambit was not well received, so he's letting Ragul take his turn.
Okay. Actually, I have begun some creations. And the dragon holds up a wing, and the wing takes on the appearance of like a projection, some sort of illusory magic to another place. And you see upwards in the 20s dragon eggs, and they all have this molten lava appearance.
Yeah, I got nothing now. I don't know. I was betting that he's not a forge master and that he doesn't have amphibious self-replicating capabilities, but I guess he does. I guess he can forge life from a forge. All right.
So Krist kind of like just nudges you a little bit in the ribs, like trying to be real subtle about it, The flask, Ragul. The flask.
Like, yeah, I was gonna try that. Hey, you've never tried this fantastic ambrosia, have you? I'm sure you've tried all kinds of manner of subterranean sewer water down here, but you've never tried this fantastic, amazing, refreshing ambrosia, liquid, flammable water. Guaranteed. I just go full snake oil salesman on him.
You are interrupted as the dragon face, the size of a house, gets right up to you, little gnome Ragul Rock. You will call me Master, or do not speak.
Master, yes, master. I begin overusing the term and is the beginning and middle and end of all my sentences, even if I do not say it in real life.
Persuasion check with disadvantage.
Yay.
How?
Snake oil.
Holy sh!
Is this gonna work?
What is this? Ambrosia.
Master, my master! It is simply the finest, the best, the dinest ambrosia you could have ever tasted. I'm sure that you are ready to conquer legions and legions of countries up there, and you are ready and willing to do so. But until then, I have before you, in your presence, the greatest and most divine drink for only the greatest god magma monsters around. Master, I have ventured far simply to give it to you.
Just say it. The action is say the full name, right?
Master,
Cinderlord, the Tinder Tyrant. It's in chat. It's in chat.
A fire elemental apparates behind you and takes the flask from you and hands it to Cinderlord.
If they got that close, would we have an attack of opportunity?
Yeah, you can stop him. A fire elemental apparates behind you. You hear Cinderlord issue the command, "Give it to me."
I stop Krist with all my subtleness and capability to not allow him to do any physical actions.
We need to. Okay.
I mean, I'm listening, but I think.
Yeah, you can stage whisper.
I don't whisper anything. I think the dragon can obviously read minds or something, so I'm just like a dead blank dwarf over here.
Well, out of game, I think all you have to do is speak the true name of the target to try and trap it.
Yeah, but it has to be close enough. Let me remind myself. As this
60
plan
feet.
is ongoing, I'm running it through in my head, like, how is this going to work out? And I'm thinking about the flask, so this is me just reading the text so that, I don't know, if there's something, I'm going to try and jog my memory as this is happening. Iron Bottle has a brow stopper. You can use the action to speak the true name of the target you can see within 60 feet of you. If the target is native to plane of existence other than the one you are on, probably at this rate, the target must succeed in a DC 17 wisdom saving throw or be trapped in the flask. If the target has been trapped by the flask before, is advantage on the saving throw. Once trapped, the creature remains in the flask and is released. The flask can hold one creature at a time. The creature trapped in the flask doesn't. I mean, I've said his name a bunch of times, but I guess this one I'll do with mental intent, and just I'll throw some more embellishment on there, and then speaking of the flask, the holy water, or the ambrosia of the divine magma gods that he is about to partake, that will only simply increase his fertility for forthcoming for the forging, and then end it with again another swooping bow. My master, where is that name? And then this is again thinking about the flask. Zindalor, the Tinder Pirate. Assuming that is his name. I guess this all hinges on... It all hinges on whether or not he's from this plane of existence or not, or something. Good news is, if it doesn't work, he's not in the wiser yet.
I think it's just the DC that it says in the flask.
It says if the target is native to a plane of existence other than the one.
Okay. There is a look of surprise on Zindalor as portal magic erupts from the iron flask, and Zindalor starts spiraling like a painting of wet paint that's been flung on a wheel and gets absorbed into the flask. The brass stopper stops, and then an anvil shining like the sun shoots out of it and lands in front of you.
The jaw. I literally just I could catch a boulder with how open my mouth is right now. Jumping for the flask, and yeah, slow motion. Grab the flask, anticipating it to be hot. Don't know if it is, but it will anticipate for hotness. And hold the cork on top with just all like carrying it like a puppy or a small baby infant that I need to protect. And then I look back at Krist Wrangle and with just again mouth agape, not closing, just like dinner plates in my eyes, and then I just motion to the anvil. I just keep moving. I don't speak. I can't speak. I'm in full shock right now. And I just motion to the anvil, and I motion back to the kobolds that I know are, I don't know how far away, but I motion, for him to get the anvil, and then I motion back to the kobolds, and then I motion to where I think the exit is, and then I just keep doing it over and over and over. And I'm protecting this cork stop on this flask with all.
No gods! No masters!
Little Rock literally picks up his jaw from the floor and reattaches the gears of his jawbone. The flask is piping hot with GM rage as you carry it.
So
I can't believe this fucking worked!
Okay, let's not jinx it. Let's go. I'm still motioning. I'm like I'm breaking my neck. Like,
Very cool, Ragul. We want them to think that we're very powerful, so that they don't try and fight us as we leave. Oh, I'll grab this big ass anvil.
Yeah, can he lift it?
I'm very strong.
This is good.
I do try. I work out often.
So to lift it, your strength score, to actually lift it, your strength score must be 20 or higher. I think yours is a 19, Krist. So you're not able to put it over your shoulders, but you can drag it.
Okay.
All right.
That'll work. Let's go.
There's just this full moment of just quiet. All of the kobolds that were laughing and snickering, all their jaws drop to the floor. The fire elemental is just sitting there being a fire elemental, unsure how to proceed.
Fuming.
Fuming, thank you.
That moment.
The water just gets still, the dripping stops.
Yep.
It's just this worldwide moment.
You almost notice, I can feel my deity kind of looking down for a second, as if to lean forward onto the earth and look down at what's going on, Yeah! Yeah!
Yeah, exactly that face.
But seriously, let's get the fuck out of here.
Let's do this. Why don't both of you make intimidation checks?
Oh, I'm good at that.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so I turn around and face this crowd of kobolds and lizard people. I puff out my chest. Either way, and I say, well, we don't want to hurt any of you. You can see we are very powerful. Put quick work to your boss. Now, consider this a liberation. You're all free, finally! Free from the bonds of the hard labor that you've had to do in these mines.
And mine, which hits an 18, comes out looking like this. I hold the flask up in front of them, and I wave it around like, you all better get the bleed back, because otherwise, you're all next! You saw what happened to this guy? That ain't nothing! If we could do this to this guy, all of you can go down just as easily!
And Little Rock is next to you, Ragul, like just hype man backing you up, like. And Krist, before you even, and Ragul, before you guys even finish your sentences, you're speaking to air. There's just torches and popcorn left where there used to be kobolds.
Oh my gosh.
They cartoon run away. That was perfect, Ragul. The plan went exactly as we had planned it. That never happens to us. This feels like it's the beginning of a new part of the journey where everything goes right. Oh.
The fire elemental just pulls a Homer Simpson.
Oh, into the hedge?
Into the stone.
This is great, but I feel like every time this happens, I feel like our luck drains a little bit, and it's like an hourglass.
Don't be silly.
I literally said that too. Let's go before our luck runs out like the sands of an hourglass.
I mean, there's no reason to stay other than like try and raid the shit and stuff like that, but I figure all of like Musharib and the rest of the albino dwarves are going to do that themselves, and they'll give us our cut.
Oh, there's that aluminium. Did he say that they were going to give us the aluminium?
Adamantine?
Adamantium. There was another thing you said. It was adamantium something. It was like an ore, but it was not adamantite. Adamanium ore, something like that.
Scythe promised you each 20 pounds of adamantine ingots.
That is up there, not down here. We're not retrieving that.
Well, as you guys are discussing, and now that you have the majority of the Wormheart mines to explore at your leisure, you can see signs that say to Crackhammer Forge right at the fork in the ore cart track. So you are led to believe that further up, following these tracks, is where the anvil once was.
So, Ragul, what do you think? We could go explore around a bit now that the mine is clear, because we're very powerful and good at our jobs. Or we could go see Musharib and, I keep wanting to say Sidzi.
Scythe.
Scythe. And Scythe. And we can bring them and their kinfolk down with us and show them around, make sure to clean up any kobolds that might be trying to be hostile later. Yeah, kind of get a sense for what they want to do here. I'm sure there'll be many more stories written about this place before the day is over.
You suggest that we explore this new crack cave, so to speak?
Well, if I'm being honest, my feelings are that probably most of what's in here is the rightful owners are the albino dwarves that largely forged whatever is probably down here. I think it would be right to make sure that they can trust us, and whatever is not of their making and was hoarded by the dragon, I think it would be best for us to try and find its rightful home. The hands of the workers.
So you suggest we find the stuff to bring to them?
No, I say we bring them down here, them and their kinfolk.
Oh, yes, that's fine. We can definitely do that. Will we be on our way then?
Let's.
I have a question about the spectral dragon wings. Spectral rainbow dragon wings. It says once per long rest, and effect lasts up to 1 hour. What is your ruling on not using the full hour? Can they be...
Of what, your wings?
Yeah, can they be reused up to a full hour? Or is it turn on, turn off, and then never again until the long rest?
Yeah, it's the turn on, turn off. But okay. You guys haven't been down here an hour. That was frustratingly fast.
I know, I did all the wrong things. Everything that I wanted to go a little bit fast with the minecart. I did not anticipate going like that. I thought the brakes were fixed. That they were not. I anticipated going down at least one other path on the cart. I did not. I anticipated riding the minecart to the end of the tracks. I did not. A lot of things happened right out the gate that I did not anticipate so surprisingly fast.
Yeah, don't get me started. But
it's funny because Krist said we'll be right back to City and Mushri, but that's literally the truth.
They're gonna be looking at their non-existent wristwatches, their indigenous wristwatches that are sundials, and be like looking back up at us like, "You've been gone 20 minutes."
Yeah. They're not even back to camp yet, dude.
Do you want to fly back up, Ragul?
That is what my intent is, and I'm trying to. I can do that with my Raven cloak, but I will have to stow the flask to do that because I need both hands to use my cloak to fly.
I mean, we just walk back up.
Nope. Getting the hell out, ready to fly.
Okay, so
wait, no,
Krist,
walking safer.
Do you want him to carry you, or do you want to walk up?
Well, if he's flying, I'd like to be carried if he can. If he can. If you could carry such a manly man as me.
I mean, yeah, if I can fly him up, let's do it.
Sure. Gnome Ragul Rock with rainbow spectral dragon wings flies Krist Wrangle up.
This is exactly as gay as I wanted it to be. Huzzah!
I call it the most metal thing that Ragul could do. Let's just imagine for a second what is happening here.
Yeah.
We are in the bowels of the belly of a volcano. We are in the former lair of Zindalore, and Zindalore, who is now in a flask that I am stowed on my, in my bag, and I have rainbow. I'm an aged dwarf that used to be a dragon. I have rainbow dragon wings sprouting from my back, and I am towing in tow this giant man who is buff and beefy and huge and gargantuan compared to me, and he is carrying, in addition to his own weight, a legendary god anvil that he is also carrying. And I am the one. This is like I can't be any cooler than this is the coolest moment of my life as Ragul ever will be. This doesn't get any. This is the high. I need a picture of this. Can I get a picture of this?
Yeah, I fucking got you, fam. I'm gonna make this.
I love the idea of, like, as you're making your ascent, Ragul is like, yeah, this is the coolest thing ever. And then, like, halfway up, there's a perspective change to Krist's, and, like, the music changes, like, from, Guns N' Roses or whatever was in Ragul's mind. As soon as Krist says, this is exactly as gay as I want it to be, like, everything changes, and it's the exact same thing happening. It's just a perspective shift.
Yeah.
Um,
The rainbow light is like hitting Krist's face, like just so that he's got that dramatic like
Perspective.
Twitter or TikTok bisexual lighting, you know?
yeah. The
Yeah.
animation changes, style, like
It goes to
from,
like
it goes from Vampire Hunter D to Chibi.
Oh my
Either
god.
way, as noted in the chat, these kobolds' mythology is forever changed.
Yeah.
Very true. How about the both of you make persuasion checks as you ascend the Wormheart Mines?
I'm gonna keep getting lucky. Yep.
As you ascend the mines and land at the entrance, a fleet, a battalion of kobolds are on hand and knee for Ragul Rock.
Oh, this is my night. Oh my god. All the bad luck in my life up until this point.
Krist, you get a couple followers. Literally 2.
And that's generous.
Oh my god. Ragul is immediately hit with a thought that he should not be worshipped, and so he's immediately doing this like hand thing, like he's looking up to his god, and he's like, no, and doing X's, like, no, they're not worshiping me. No, he doesn't want his god to get any ideas about, or that I am holier than thou or anything like that. So I'm trying to, like, I don't know, in vain.
They should definitely go to Red Rock and help defend the castle. Did you know he has a castle, kobolds? And he used to be a dragonborn.
So, details aside, you guys literally do catch up to Scythie and Musharib as they walk back to the campsite, about to sit down. Don't even finish sitting down before you two emerge with 30 kobolds following you.
And for dramatic effect, I have my warhammer out in front of me as I fly forward. Just gotta really, really try to hammer it home, and I have a stern, totally confident, totally triumphant look in my face. And I just hold on, and then I land in front of them, and I look at them, and I wait.
Musharib looks to Scythie, and Scythie says, "They surrendered. They're cowards."
I assure you, we would never. Me personally, I would die before I surrender.
I wait for... I don't say anything. I just wait for it to sink in. I just don't say anything. I just look them all dead in the eye, and I'll wait.
And there's this moment where all the dwarves grab their weapons and realize they don't need them, then look to each other, then look at you, then kind of piece it all together.
And then they look back at me again. I do a very, very slight quarter nod, very slowly, and then look back.
Musharib looks to you, Krist and Ragul. It is done?
One more very slow quarter nod. Slowly back up.
Musharib, you would know how better than almost anybody how often our plans go exactly according to them. This is the one time it actually did.
I mean, out of game, what plan?
That was the plan! How do you not remember? We talked about this!
Oh, I mean, yeah, the flask thing, I had zero hope that was going to work, by the way.
Me too!
And then the whole minecart thing just, pardon my pun, was off the rails from the beginning, so that was out of character planning. Again, yeah, I don't know.
Part of the plan did fail because I was like, that's so conspicuous. Ragul's gonna get made so quickly as soon as the kobold sees him. But it worked out perfectly.
I mean, let's do a couple of things about what did go wrong. I went in there the most undisguised kobold ever, thinking he was disguised, so I would try to pass myself off as one, but absolutely not being one, and discovered it instantly. And then did everything in my power, unwillingly and willingly, to awaken anybody within anywhere of the cavern by smashing doors, and and then repairing equipment, and then destroying said minecart in the loudest possible fashion that could be done. I could not have picked it up and thrown it into the shaft and done better.
True. So there we were.
Yeah.
Oh,
So as you guys will say, with your permission, are walking and talking, 4 albino dwarves plus Musharid following you, 30 kobolds behind them, descending down the mines, looking at all the traps that have been triggered, and you get back to the bottom where the anvil is. Scythi and Musharid actually believe you now that they're laying eyes on the anvil of Brocker. And Musharib and Scythi look to you, Ragul and Krist. And Scythi says, I thank you. In order to pay you in the ingots, we must now continue to the forge. I feel
Yes.
you have earned the right to this dragon horde. And she points to a section of the cavern where there is a huge pile of gold and silver and brass and magic treasures.
Ooh.
well,
I have to tell you, we definitely came to see what kind of magic treasures might be in here, among all of the other reasons. But knowing what is ahead of us for the Tomb of Annihilation, we were hoping that there might be something that might help us in our quest. So we appreciate it very much.
And that is where we will end tonight's session of the Ironheart Tomb of Annihilation.
with Ragul motioning for his followers to start picking up all the gold. He literally just like head nods, or he just like does a hand twirl to all of his followers, just like twirls that in their direction, and then head nods to the treasure. Yeah, exactly that. Yes. And then the kobolds, assuming that they understand, we'll just begin collecting the treasure, and then we'll leave off from there.
Luckily for you, you speak Draconic, so you can issue all your commands to them in Draconic.
Oh,
and
this
Little Rock is already pulling a Dr. Scrooge, or what's his name from DuckTales? Scrooge McDuck, and it's like swimming in the dragon horde,
yes,
and
Scrooge McDuck
jumping out and dive boarding off of a rock face.
That's Scrooge McDuck. Oh, that's awesome. Oh my gosh. Okay. And then one thing I want to highlight is that I'm going to cloth wrap, saran wrap, and duct tape and hide in a box my flask now and lock it, and then put a sealing spell on the lock, and then or the whole box, and then it's
we'll
my
have
new.
Julian drop it in the sea later.
No, it will not leave my side.
Oh, okay.
I have plans for this. I have so many plans.
I mean, I would launch it into fucking space.
What'd you say, Zach?
Oh, I was just gonna say, it is still hot to the touch.
And then what'd you say, Weston?
If we can, we should launch it into space.
Actually, point of lore order, dragons can survive and travel in space, so I'm not gonna help you.
Oh.